Welcome to In the Trenches, where entrepreneurs, artists, writers, designers, inventors, warriors, and leaders share their stories of doing the hard, creative work that impacts all of our lives. Let the journey inspire you to do something worthwhile, build something bold, and create your life's work. And now, your host, Tom Morkis.
Welcome back, everyone, to another broadcast of In the Trenches. I'm really excited to have on today's show Danny Flood, who is the founder of OpenWorld magazine and the author of almost a half dozen books, including Buy Your Own Island, which we'll talk about today. So, Danny, thank you so much for joining us from Bangkok.
Hey, Tom. Thanks so much for having me. It's great that we're finally able to connect.
Yeah. Just offline before we started the recording, we were talking about where Danny was at. He's in Bangkok, Thailand, which is interesting. I was there earlier in 2015. We were there in the spring, I want to say. And passed through, spent a few months in Thailand. Well, probably about two or three. So have you been living there long, Danny, or are you just traveling and passing through, or what's the deal?
Yeah, at the moment I'm based here in Bangkok. I live here with my girlfriend. But I've been in Asia for about over a year and a half now. But I've been pretty much nomadic minimalist since around 2009. I felt like before that I had pretty sheltered upbringing. I was kind of didn't see much of the world. I wanted to be a writer, but I didn't have enough life experience. I felt like so I just kind of at first I just started traveling around in my car. I had freelance clients that I've worked with in San Diego. I went down to Mexico for 2 months to see if my business could still run, even if I took myself out of the equation. Everything went fine. And then I booked a one-way ticket to South America. And I've been pretty much traveling the globe ever since then, which was around, 2011 now. And now it's 2016. And I was running a digital advertising agency for about 4 or 5 years. I was making about six figures. Well, I was making six figures and working about 10 hours a week at that point because I had most of the stuff, automated, and I outsourced a lot of it running this marketing agency. But then I got really bored with that business, and I would love traveling, but I wanted to work on something that was more meaningful, and that became the seed of my book and then eventually OpenWorld magazine.
Awesome. And so when did you start OpenWorld? In 2014?
Yeah, sure. So my first month of, since I registered my blog was in February of 2014. And I was just checking the stats the other day. For the first few months, I didn't even have 1,000 people visit my blog. I think in April 2014, the third month, I had 938 visitors. And then I checked the stats, 1 year later, we had more than 16,000. And so we're going pretty steadily now. I have a once weekly podcast, and we just launched an Indiegogo campaign for our digital magazine, which I'm going to publish on the App Store, and successfully funded that as well. So I'm really excited about that too.
Very cool, man. That's awesome. So what's obviously you're inspired by travel. You've been traveling for a while. But what, with OpenWorld Mag, where do you see it going? What's the big goal for you in mind with that?
Yeah, sure. So my goal is really it's purpose oriented. This is kind of like my purpose, my passion project, purpose project, I guess you could say, where, when I was doing an advertising agency, it was cool. It was fun. I mean, I enjoyed the work for a while, but then I got burnt out. It was only affecting maybe 5 or 6 people, who actually cared about what I was doing. My clients, and now with this magazine, I just hope that I can give back, but kind of help the person that I was, when I was younger, maybe when I was 23, 24, didn't really have any good mentors. All of the traditional paths didn't seem to be working too well. I want to give people actionable insights they can use, strategies, inspirational stories, and show them that other people are doing this. You can do this. You are good enough now, and you can take action to have whatever you want now. Because I did it, and I kind of it was a really roundabout process the way that I did it, but I kind of want to systemize this and help more people And so if I can reach more people with my mission, that's my goal. The income for me is secondary. The income is coming in pretty steadily now. I'm doing pretty well my second year of business, but I just want to create and affect change, I think, is the main thing.
Yeah, and so tell me a little bit about these ebooks that you wrote, the Buy Your Own Island. Tell us a little bit about that. It's a pretty interesting title. How's that done for you, or what's been the response, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, sure. So Buy Your Own Island, the idea behind it is if you buy your own island, it's kind of the ultimate symbol of independence and freedom. And I was inspired by this story of Tynan. He wrote on his blog about how he and a few friends, Manish Sethi and a couple others, they actually bought their own island, and they said they wanted to create their own country and see what they could build. Which I thought was so cool because it's all about, for me, it's all about freedom and independence and being able to I guess ask the right questions of yourself and um, do what you want to do and not follow someone else's narrative. And that book was really, it's kind of like a practical plan for setting your dream goals. Like, what are the 3 or 4 dreams you have that would change everything? That would change your life completely, to completely reinvent yourself. And I really work to answer all the questions people have and to give them the answers to make that happen. Like starting with the inner game. How and facing down fears and defining what you want. And then there's a business section of that book to help people with the income side of things. And then I have I think 8 case studies in the back of the book of different types of businesses and people featuring their stories. The challenges they went through. Because a lot of people, they don't talk about the stories people go through when they're struggling to become successful. Like people didn't want to interview J.K. Rowling when she was a poor single mother on welfare, but now she's the first billionaire author ever. But I want to tell those stories of that struggle and how these people were able to go through the same thing that many of us are going through, yet they were able to come out the other side. And I think it's a great book. I'm a little bit biased, but I have a free audiobook version of that Buy Your Own Island if you want to check out as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely link it up in the show notes.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, I guess, these other books that you're writing. It seems like writing's a big aspect of what you do. How'd you get into writing, and why have you, why do you pursue that? Again, is that a passion of yours, writing and all that, and publishing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wanted to be a writer since a young age, but when I was younger, like when I was 19, 20 or so, I didn't have a lot of life experience, and I figured if I wanted to be a great writer, I have to get out in the world and try new things and learn things, and so I wore a bunch of hats when I was younger. I mean, I was in the Army National Guard. I was a Taekwondo instructor. I was a wrestling coach. I worked at a resort in South Pacific. I worked in a factory. I got fired after one day in the factory. It's another story for another time. So I mean, and then I've been traveling. I've been traveling to, I guess, 33 countries. I've traveled to 33 countries now, or lived in maybe 10 of those. And I just wanted to collect stories, and that's kind of what I've been doing with OpenWorld magazine. And I have 5 books now. The 4 books that came after Buy Your Own Island are a little bit shorter, but they all focus on hacks. And the reason I focus on hacks is because when I was publishing, blog posts, I would promote them on Facebook, and I would study the stats. And I noticed that if I post like a travel piece, it might get a lot of likes. It gets like this feel-good factor. But whenever I post a hack, like a hack to improve your self-esteem, or a hack to improve your self-confidence, something like this, that I would get a disproportionate amount of clicks versus likes. And so I thought, there must be something there if a lot of people are wanting to read these articles. So from that on, I started to focus on hacks. And the reason I like hacks is because I'm always looking for ways to improve my business processes, improve my fitness, improve my productivity. And so, they're of great interest to me. And I think that a lot of men are interested in hacks, men especially, because we like to solve one problem and then move on to the next. We get a sense of accomplishment when we solve a problem. We get this sense of satisfaction. So men are really interested in hacks. And I don't know if it's the same with women, but women are more interested in their satisfaction comes from other things. So I have 4 books about hacks. one is hack email, which is how to connect with anyone. So I do all the publicity for my business and my books myself. I've been on maybe 40 to 50 podcasts. Another one is called Hack Sleep, which was a subject near and dear to my heart as a long-time insomniac. I've been doing polyphasic sleep, where I sleep about 4 hours a night and take maybe a nap or two during the day. I have a book called Hack Upwork about freelancing, and another one, Hack Your Mind to Become Bulletproof.
And then is there a major strategy behind this for your, for OpenWorld, or is this a separate endeavor, or how does this fit into the bigger picture?
Yeah, sure. So, I kind of like to be on a lot of different platforms, and a lot of people that engage with my content, they follow my podcast, they go to my blog. I'm really working on building up my base of 1,000 true fans, which I'm sure you're aware of, that concept. So, I find that people that get one of my books, they're interested in getting all of them. They're interested in reading my blog. They sign up for my email list. So I just want to be out there where the readers are, and for me, that's Amazon. Like initially, Tom, I thought about writing my hack books as giveaways on my website, to collect email opt-ins. Mm-hmm. And then I scrapped that idea because I realized, I can reach a lot more people with Amazon. I can do a free promotion every 90 days. I can do there's so many newsletter sites out there like BuckBooks and all these others, that I can promote my work to. So I want to introduce, my books are kind of like business cards. They're self-liquidating lead sources. And then, once they get my books, they often, become consulting clients. They often buy my Gumroad products or other things I have to offer.
Yeah, for sure. Very cool. So what's been the biggest challenge for when it comes to kind of going back to OpenWorld Mag? Would you say OpenWorld Mag is the biggest focus for you right now?
Yeah, we're about to launch a digital magazine. I think part of the challenge, one of the challenges has been getting the people who sign up for free content to upgrade and pull out their wallet. That's been a challenge. Mm-hmm. When I did a crowdfunding campaign, did Indiegogo, it's 110% funded now, but not very few pledges came from my email list. If I have a free book available, I'll get maybe 100 to 200 people emailing me asking for a copy, and then I'll ask them to write a review. Most people won't, of course. But when I told them about my Indiegogo campaign, like I sent that email to the noise of crickets. I feel like, because I only got maybe 1 or 2 pledges from my email list, which I thought I was blown away by, because I get so many people emailing me when they want free stuff. But when I did my Indiegogo campaign, what worked best was one-on-one email outreach to my network. That contributed about more than 90% of my pledges, versus people I didn't know, or guest blogging, or podcast interviews. It was just one-on-one email outreach to acquaintances, people in my network, podcast hosts like yourself. So that has been a challenge, is getting people who sign up for the free content to convert to buying other products.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And so again, right now it's pretty early then. I guess the objective then of OpenWorld Mag, monetization wise, are you going to be selling it, the magazine itself, or is it going to be more, if you get enough traffic, it'll be kind of a advertising type platform, or a combination of both?
Yeah, we do a little bit of advertising, but it is going to be a subscription-based model. It's going to be $2.99 per issue, $2.99. Mm-hmm. And the reason I like that model better is because you don't need like a lot of traffic. You don't need a lot of readers. With a blog post, you consistently have to churn out new content. You have to SEO optimize your articles. You have to get high volume. But with a subscription-based model, you have a tighter control over the content. You can really focus on quality. And it's kind of similar to, the natural evolution of publishing, where, 100 years ago, you had people selling newspapers on the street, trying to call out, kind of like clickbait in a sense, because they were trying to get people to, people they don't know to come and buy their newspaper. But I would rather focus on, delivering high-quality content to a smaller audience, and not have to worry about, clickbait headlines, not have to worry about, traffic or SEO optimization. I want to focus on delivering value. And I think by tapping into a subscription-based model, it really allows you the opportunity to do that. And there are other people who have been very successful in this in this with digital magazines like Nathan Chan. Do you know Nathan Chan?
Yeah, I think I just interviewed him for In the Trenches, so I think he'll be, if he hasn't been published, I think he'll be published soon. I think his episode will go live soon.
Okay,
And by
yeah.
the time somebody listens to this, it'll be live. So yes.
He's grown that up to be like a six-figure business in a year, 1 or 2 years, with Founder Magazine. So he's done a great job with that, and a big part of his success has been with Instagram. And he's gotten over 500,000 followers on Instagram, which you probably interviewed him already, so I don't want to rehash what he said. But there's ways to. That's kind of where our focus is right now is to increase our reach on social media and find the people who are interested in our content, let them come to us.
So yeah, so the question I have for you is, you're working on a lot of different stuff. I'm just curious. I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions, but I am a big goal setter, and I like to set and measure and track my goals. So I'm just curious what your major focus is this year, and what you're trying to grow, what you're trying to create.
Yeah, sure. So I'm not a big fan of resolutions either. I think that they're silly, but I am big on goals, and especially short-term goals. So I have a lot of goals for each month, next 3 months, 6 months. I think that 2015 was the most, I think it was the proudest year of my life because I published 5 books. I did everything I set out to do. I successfully completed my first Indiegogo campaign. And now 2016, I think I want to 10x it. I want everything to be bigger than it was before. I've noticed that, when I talk to people, when I talk to bloggers and people like this, like, do you know Sean D'Souza, Tom? Sean D'Souza of Psychotactics?
Yeah, I don't know him personally, but I think I've heard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, he's been doing that business for more than a decade, so he's been building that platform up for more than a decade. And, what I've found is that sometimes it takes time to build these platforms, to build a name, to drive market penetration, to get these 1,000 true fans. But once you have that platform, then you're golden, you're off to the races. And, so for me, I'm 2 years in now. I've built this platform. I have passionate readership. And I really just want to 10x everything. I want to reach more people. I want to scale up. I have more books that I plan to publish. I'm going to be publishing some digital magazines, which I think are going to be incredible. I'm really excited for. And I have I want to launch a few physical products eventually at some point. I have an invention for a physical product that I want to launch on Kickstarter. So it's just about scaling up, doing what we're doing, building the platform, building the brand. I think once you have a brand that's established, once you get a couple years into it, then the opportunities kind of multiply. They start to come to you. But a lot of people kind of give up before they have that platform really established, or maybe they haven't taken the time to build it up in the first place. But I think if you stick with it, if you keep publishing great content, if you keep engaging your fans, then you're going to have that 1,000 true fan base that you can build on, and then you really have, you can do pretty much anything you want with it. You can come up with ideas in the shower and say, oh, hey, I could do this or this or this or that, and then you try something, you see whether it works or not, and you just keep going. You try stuff and then you get feedback. You try stuff, you get feedback.
Yep. Very cool. Awesome. I love it. And you're going to be doing this all while living and traveling abroad, huh?
Yeah, sure. So I'm still based in Thailand. I have no plans to leave really. But I do have some travel plans. I'm planning to go to India, to China. I want to do a bicycle ride across China. I have a plan to go to India, and I want to do some climbing out there. I might be speaking at WordCamp in Mumbai in a couple months. So I'm starting to add new things to my repertoire. Like I'm doing public speaking. I might have a speaking engagement in Singapore. So I basically have some plans to continue to travel, explore the region, go places I haven't been, do new things like that. Just have a good time, enjoy life, work hard, play hard. That's a secret to a purpose-driven life, I think.
Very cool. And so where can people reach out to you if they want to find out more about you and buy your books and whatever else you have going on and OpenWorld Mag and all that stuff?
Yeah, sure. So you can check out our website. It's openworldmag.com. My email address is danny@openworldmag.com if you want to discuss business idea or you want to collaborate. I also have an Indiegogo campaign, which will probably be expired by the time this interview goes live. But you can also get an audiobook. You can get audiobook version of my book Buy Your Own Island at buyyourownisland.com/audio-book. And you can look me up on Amazon. I have all my books on there. My latest book, Hack Sleep. And I have another coupon I can offer for my Udemy course for your listeners as well for my sleep hacking masterclass.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot of places you can go, but you can check out my blog, the podcast, if you just want to get more info. It's openworldmag.com.
And I know the campaign will be over by the time this probably airs. Well, by the time this airs, I'm sure it will be because this is we're probably a few weeks out. But where is your campaign at right now, and what is your goal?
Yeah, sure. So it's at Indiegogo.com. I can't, the link is quite long for my specific campaign, but
sure.
Basically, I wanted some money to fund the development of this app for the newsstand. For a digital magazine, I don't have a lot of print costs. I don't have a lot of costs. So I set a small goal because of my first crowdfunding campaign. I set a goal of $2,200, when realistically I need maybe $1,500 or $2,000 to launch this app. And we raised $2,400, more than $2,400.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so it's been good, and I've also confirmed the demand for the product. I think when you do a crowdfunding campaign, it's an easy way to get extra publicity. So I've been able to get on a lot of podcasts. I just submitted guest posts for WP Curve, Location Rebel. Yeah, so a lot of good people, got some good coverage. And I wanted this magazine to be self-funded from day one. I didn't want to invest $2,000 of my own money and then be in the hole and then have to make that back. I wanted the customers to fund it with their wallets, and so that's where I was going with this Indiegogo campaign. And it's been a good experience. I think that the thing that threw me off the most when I was researching crowdfunding is that there's so much information out there and so much stuff like you should do this, you should do that, you should pitch the press and get the media on board and all this stuff. And I got really overwhelmed, and I had to kind of like scale back and simplify a little bit, to make this work. And I figured, my strength is email outreach and connecting with people. So I just focused on, one-on-one email outreach. Every Monday I would contact 15 to 20 people. And then, I would do the same and keep doing that over and over again. I would send out these individual emails, and that worked really well. I got a lot of people to back the project that way.
Very cool, man. Awesome. Great stuff. Very excited for you.
Thank you.
And we'll make sure to send people over to OpenWorld Mag to go check it out and hopefully hop on the app when it's completed. So appreciate you being on the show, Danny. Really great stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here, Tom, and hope you, the listener, enjoyed it as well. Thank you for listening this long.
Totally. Appreciate it, Danny.
Yeah.
And that wraps up another broadcast of In the Trenches. If you'd like to check out the show notes, just head over to tommorkes.com/podcast, where you'll find the latest broadcast. And if you enjoyed today's broadcast, please do me a favor and leave a rating and review on iTunes. That's the fastest, simplest, easiest way to support my creative work, and it would really mean a lot to me. As always, this is Tom Morkes, and if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.